Hi, if your PlayStation 5 is making a lot of fan noise or sometimes even freezes after long periods of gaming, the very first thing to do is to clean it. Following these steps in this video will not void any warranties your console might have. This is the disc version of the console I'm using here, but the process is basically exactly the same for the digital version as well. Getting the console open does not require any specific tools, however removing the fan to clean it, as we will do here, requires a Torx T8 Security screwdriver or bits, which sounds super special, but it's actually just a normal Torx T8 but with a small hole in the middle. These bits or screwdrivers are available at basically any hardware or electronics store. Some kind of brush or similar to get the dust off the fan and the PlayStation 5 is also good to have, as well as a can of compressed air or a small vacuum cleaner. If you want to, you can of course also use your own mouth to just blow the dust out of the PlayStation 5. This can though be a little bit of a hit and miss, since the air coming from your mouth is both a bit warm and also contains a bit of saliva, which can potentially harm the components inside the console, so do this at your own risk. Now we're gonna start by getting rid of both of the side panels. Also make sure here to screw off the foot if you got the console standing up. Then to get the side panels off, we place the PlayStation 5 console lying down and grab the top right corner and pull the panel both up and then down towards the bottom of the console. This does take a little force, so bracing with one hand underneath the bottom of the console might be required to get the panel to come off. We then flip the console over and do the same thing on the other side, and then we are in. Here it's usually a good thing to remove any excess dirt and dust with a brush or similar from both the black and grey parts of the inside of the console as well as the inside of the outer covers. To get to the screws for the fan, we need to remove this little side bracket. This, just like the covers, is held in by plastic pins. It's usually easiest to start towards the middle of it and then carefully snap it upwards until it comes off. We'll then use our Torx T8 screwdriver to remove the 4 screws holding the fan and fan cover in place. The screws here are all of different lengths, so do keep an eye on where they go to easily be able to put them back in the correct place afterwards. To disconnect the fan, we also need to lift this little plastic protection cover. This is just held in with a small amount of glue, and you actually only need to lift it enough to get to the plug connecting the fan to the PlayStation console, but you can also take off the whole thing just like I did here. To get the fan plug out, just grab both of the shorter sides and then carefully wiggle it at the same time as you pull it out. Then the whole fan just lifts straight out of the console. If we peek into the hole where the fan was, we can also see part of the large heatsink that helps cooling the console. This usually pretty quickly fills up with dust, and just as with the fan, this should also be cleaned as much as possible using air and a small brush or similar. Cleaning the fan is a little tedious, and as much as possible try to hold the fan blades still and not spin them unnecessarily, since it will put an extra strain on the motor. On the back of the console there are also 2 holes that can be used to push air into the console to get more dust away from the heatsinks on the inside, which can be really useful to get stuck dust out of the way. After we are happy with the cleaning results, it is then just a matter of putting the console back together again the same way we just took it apart. Fan plug and fan cover goes in first. As well as the side vent bracket that snaps into each corner first and then just gets pushed down into the console. And then the outer covers just snaps on in the opposite direction of how we took them off. Make sure here to put the correct cover back on the correct side by looking at where the pins should go. Alright, hopefully cleaning the console did help with the fan noise and the occasional crashing. If not though, and if your console actually keeps crashing a lot, the issue might be more severe. If you got a warranty on your console and it's showing things like completely shutting off after a few minutes of gaming, or just won't start at all sometimes, or dies immediately after booting, my first recommendation here is to definitely use the warranty to get it fixed. If though your console does not still have its warranty, the 2 most common problems causing these kind of issues are either that the liquid compound in the cooling system needs to be replaced, or that the power supply is about to give up. Or worst case, that there's something wrong with the actual motherboard or the graphics portion of the motherboard, something that usually is really difficult to fix yourself. However, if you're interested in fixing the 2 of these first things yourself, I have made videos on those 2 subjects, which I'm linking down in the video description below. Please note though that these are fairly advanced procedures that I'm not even sure I should have tried, but I did. So if you want to keep venturing down the PS5 issues rabbit hole, see those 2 videos, at least for reference purposes. Or if you got any other thoughts or questions here, please share them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to help with what I can. Thank you for watching. Bye!